Where we stopped in the last session, what we discussed about exception handling, right? That is ours. Now open from here only. Yeah. So the last example is what? What is the last example? 19th. We can write like multiple expect blocks or not. Yes or no? We can write like multiple expect blocks. Okay. The syntax we discussed, right? One is like whenever you handle the exception with expect block, only expect you can write it. That's valid. Expect with your exception class, you can write it. It is also valid. Expect, okay, your expect the exception class and ex. What is this ex? We'll discuss. Okay, that is also valid. If you have multiple exceptions, if you want to handle in a single expect block, value error and name error, this is also valid. Value error and name error. And if you want to give some okay reference, that is also valid or not. Yes or no. Whenever you written like multiple expect blocks, okay, the default expect blocker should be the last. The order matters here. Okay, try with multiple expect is valid. Try with multi expect is like valid. Okay, whenever you return like multiple expect blocks, okay, make sure the default expect block should be in the last. Okay, what about the finally? My finally is like what? Okay, always exception there or exception not there, always it's going to execute. Now here, if you see, okay, if you run this one, py20.py, if you run it, now if you observe here, zero division error, division by zero. Okay, what is this? Zero division error, division by zero. Yes or no? Now, what is this zero division error and what is this division by zero? Whenever you divided one number with zero, this particular exception thrown and my program terminated like abnormal or not. Which exception thrown? No, while running this program, okay, which exception thrown? Zero division error or not. Now tell me who raised this exception. That means who threw at runtime, who checked you are dividing this particular number with zero, that the reason has to raise an exception. Who did that work? You are Python people. Who raised this exception?
Python.
Python, right? Okay, you not raise the exception, Python people or not. For example, if I write something like this, if I run this program, then that time also, no, see, name error, name value is not defined. What do you mean, eval or whatever it is? Okay, he said like, okay, name value is not defined. This is which kind of exception again? Name error or not. Who raised this exception? Whenever in Python you are trying to use one member, that member should declared first. Okay, who checked that one? You or Python people? Python people. If you not follow that, okay, they throws an exception like this or not. Okay, some of the exceptions, okay, some of the rules, if you not follow, okay, at the time of runtime, they throw an exception or not. Python people only. Agree with me? Yes or no? Now my question is, they throw an exception, right? Okay, here, this is my exception and this is my message. Now tell me, this particular one is which type? Name error is which type? Name error is which type? Name error is which type? Come on. Name value is not defined is an exception message. This name error is which type? Name error colon is there, right? Name error is which type? If you don't know, okay, simply Okay, you can check it. Okay, if you don't know, you can check this name error is which type. How we can check it? Very simple. Here can I write like type of name error? Okay, can I write like this? If I write like this, my name error is like a predefined member. Just print. Okay, if you not print in the console, it's not visible, so you can print it. My name error is which type? Class type or not? Yes or no? Name error is which type? It's a class type or not? Okay, now if you write try, if you write like a try, and here print off, or you can say well. Okay, now expect block name error. Okay, print exception raised. Okay, if you're not right, also no problem at all. Now it's like valid or invalid. A program terminated abnormal or normal. Okay, normal only. Okay, why? Because okay, here if I write like print and if I write here, okay, print start. If you come here, if I okay take this one, starting to ending, each and every statement got executed or not. Start and then exception raised and then end. Yes or no? Start and exception raised and then end. Okay, now if you write something like this is valid syntax. Okay, now okay, I want to handle whenever the name error only. I don't want default okay, expect block. I want okay, specific name error expect block. Can I write like this? Come on, you can write like this also, no problem. This name error is which type? Okay, my name error is which type? Come on, name error is which type? Exception raised. This name error is which type? It is like a class type or not? Now if I write another option, okay, if you want some more information about this okay, exception, you can write like what? You can write like what? You can write like okay, a reference also you can put it or not. What is that reference? What is that reference? Come on, what is this reference? Okay, class type is like a class name error. What is the difference between this class type or class name error? What is the difference? Now, for example, okay, let me write some code here. Okay, I have a class A. Okay, inside this one, I have okay, n1 equals to 10. What happened? Indentation, right? I have a class A to 10. Okay, my class A created, yes or no? Now if I put like type of A, now it gives me what is the type of class type or not. If I create an object for this particular A, can I create like this? Can I call the member of a class? Yes. Now my thing is type of obj is which type? Now see this. Okay, here class type, it is an object, right? Okay, object of which class? It is an object of which class? Come on, it is an object of which class? A class or not? Here also, if you observe, okay, here my type mentioned with what name, right? Okay, here this is okay, first one, name error is a class type. It's a direct class. If I write the exception, then the time class name you given. Okay, see here class name. Here also they given like a class name or not. This is the class. This is my class name. Now tell me if this is class type. It's like a direct class. Okay, if you find the type of an object, the type is like what? Class name. Okay, not type of class name. Whenever you written like a class name, that is what? That is what? Whenever you get the typo is like class name like this instead of this one. What is the type? Come on. What is that one? See the difference. Class type is one type. Class name is one type. Class type is there. That what you can say. My A is which type? My A is which type? Hmm? One my A is which type? Hmm? My A is which type? If I write like this, my A is which type? It's a class, right? Class of
Yes.
beauty, it's a class. Class of class name, if you get the type, that is what? What is the value? Object or not? Object of which class? Object of which class? A class. Here also, if you observe, class name error. Class type means it's a direct class. Class name means it is an object of that particular class. So here my EX is an object of which class? Here my EX is an object of which class? Come on. Here my EX is an object of which class?
Name
Name error class or not? Name error class. Understood everyone? That means whenever the exception raised, whenever the exception raised, how the Python people, okay, Python people handle that exception, okay, the execution flow, no, this particular statement inside the try block or not, it is going to check first, yes or no, inside the try block or not. If it is not inside the try block, simply it is throws an exception. It is not handle that exception. It means you not handle the exception. First check in the try block. If it is in the try block, if the exception raised, okay, the accept block it is going to check. Expect block is there or not there? The expect block is there or not there? Tell me. Expect block is there or not there? Expect block is there or not there? Hmm? Come on, expect block is there or not there? Hmm? Expect block is there. Yes, there. Whenever the expect block is there, only name error. You if you not write anything, it's like a default handling. If you write only name error, then that time is okay. Whatever you printed, that is going to print. But whenever you written like this, okay, what my Python is going to do? If you write like this, it can understand like we need to create an object for this particular name error. That object you have to assign to this particular variable or not. If I put like a, okay, now tell me, my A is an object of which class? My A is an object of which class? A name error or not? Yes or no? See, if you not write anything, then that time that's okay, fine. Okay, that's okay, fine. Okay, exception raised by Python people, default expect is there, that's okay, fine. Okay, if you write something like this only, okay, exception raised, if the exception is like name error, so this block is going to execute, this is also fine. If you write like this, okay, whenever the exception raised, Python people, okay, know that is like which kind of exception. Okay, name error, value error, okay, which kind of exception. Okay, if you find that exception, it is going to create an object for that particular exception. It is going to create an object for that particular exception class. If you, okay, want that object, then looking for what? Okay, name error, the reference A, okay, you can put it. Whenever you put like A, now whatever the object created by the Python people, that object assigned to A, and you can see the A value. Okay, here now you can find something like this or not. My A is like what? My A is like a object of that name error or not? Yes or no? So whenever the exception raised, first Python people, okay, exception type, okay, which kind of exception? Okay, name error, value error, like that. First it is going to check the exception type. Okay, what kind of exception that is? Whenever the exception raised, okay, it is going to find the exception class and create an object. Who did this work? Exception object creation, who did that work? You or Python people? Come on, whenever the exception raised, okay, Python people find that is which kind of exception. Okay, once he find the exception class, he create an object. If you want that object, what you have to do? Okay, in the expect block, okay, you have to give the reference. Whenever you have the reference, okay, Python people create an object, right? That object they assign to you or not. Okay, now once they assigned that particular object, you can use it. That particular object, you can use it. Understood, everyone? Come on. Great. Okay, so that whenever the exception raised in Python, Python people find the exception class and create an object. If you want that object in the expect block, you have to give the reference. Whenever you give in the reference, that or that particular object assigned to that reference, so that you can use it. That reference you can use it. Understood? Got my point? Okay, now my A is which type? My A is an object of exception class, this one or not. So in this particular exception class, how many members are there? How we can find it? In the exception class, how many members are there? How we can find it? In the exception class, how many members are there? How we can find it? Can I print dir of that particular exception class? Now, can you come here? In this one, there has multiple members are there. These many members are there, right? Add no to args name with trace. If the class contains some members, how we can access the members? If you have an object, we can access it or not. Anyway, you said like this is an object of name error. Can you try? Is it really as an object of name error? If it is an object of name error, we need some information about these members or not. We can get some information or not. So how we can print? Okay, first a dot. Okay, add note there or not there. Okay, the next one. Okay, a dot. Okay, arcs there or not there. Say this. Next a dot, comma a dot. Okay, name also there or not there. A dot with trace there or not there. Yes or no? Okay. Now can you come here? Can you remove this stuff? If it no issues. Now if you come here, now see. First start executed, and then if you come to the line number 3, it throws an exception. Why? Because value is not there, but still you are using. Now whenever it throws an exception, okay, Python people knows this is which kind of exception. It's like a name error. Whenever Python people find the exception class name error, they create an object for that particular class. When he create an object, if you want that object in the expect block, you can give the reference. Whenever Python people find this reference, they are going to give that object and assign that object to this reference. Once you have an object, you can do whatever you want. You can call the members of that particular class or not. Yes or no? A dot a note, it is like a method. It's like a method. Yes or no? Okay, my val, okay, this one also. Okay, a dot org, so this is one. The next one is like a dot name. Okay, the next one is like it's like a built-in. It's like a built-in. So how many methods are there? Two methods are there. A and add note is one method. With the trace back is like one method. That's all. Now can you come here? Can you check it? Now if you come here, what happened? A dot add note. Mm, Base exception node takes exactly one argument, zero given. Okay, yeah, add node take one argument. He said, okay, I can write like this. What is that argument? We'll discuss. Okay, just fix it for now. If you come here, uh, take exactly one argument. Okay, this guy also take one argument. He said, okay, you can pass one argument. Now, can you come here? What happened? Trace must be trace back or none. What is this? A dot with the trace back. Here during the handling of exception, another exception occurred. That's okay. Print to add note. Okay. A.org. A dot with the trace back. This is again raise an error type error. Trace back must be trace back. Okay. It's like must be trace back. Okay. Trace back must be trace back. Okay. It is not like this. Okay. Some trace back you have to get it. Okay, this one, okay, we can hold for now. Let's see. Okay, can I remove this one first? These three we can check it. These three we can check it. Now when you come here, okay, first one is like what? Add node, nothing is there. It's like none. The next one is like a.orgs. Okay, a.orgs. What is this one? Okay, here name val is not defined. What is this one? Name val is not defined. What is this one? What is this one? Name val is not defined. Hmm. Name val is not defined. Come on, what is this one? Name val is not defined. What is this one? It is exception
Adam,
or not exception message. A.orgs gives me an exception message. Okay, multiple exception messages maybe that the reason they given like in the tuple format. The next one is like what? Okay, name error, right? Because of which name this is the error? Because of val, right? Because of val. Now, okay, can I give like something? Press back value none. Come here. Okay. Now it is okay, right? Okay. This one is not accept. Okay, none you can put it. Now can you check it? A dot add note is like a none. There is no note, nothing. What is this note? We'll see. A dot orgs, their exception messages it is going to provide. A dot name. What is that name? Come on, val. Now A dot with trace track back. It's nothing but what exactly the error was in this context. What is that error? Val is not defined or not? Yes or no? Val is, look, a name val is not defined. Agreed. Okay. Here, okay. Come on. Okay, so what you can understand by seeing this one, whenever the exception raised in Python people first find the exception class, matching exception class or suitable exception class. Once you have the class in your hand, what you can do? Once you have the class in your hand, what you can do? Come on. If you have the class in your hand, what you can do? Okay, either you or Python people in your hand one class is there means we can create an object or not. So Python people find what? Python people find the exception class and created an object. Now looking forward to expect block. Okay, that particular class, okay, matching class, they handled or not, it is going to check. There or not there are matching classes there or not there. Okay, yes, there name error is there. Okay, if you want Python people created an object, yes, you can get it. How? You can give the reference as a, you can give the reference. Whenever you have the reference, Python people they created an object, right? Python people they created an object, right? Okay, that object they assign to a, they assign to a, yes or no? Python people they assign that object to a. So object is available with you. Python people created, you use it like what? Reference here. Whenever you use it reference, whatever the object created by the Python people, okay, that object assigned to you, that object is assigned to you. Once you have an object of which class? Name error. In the name error, how many members are there? You can call it or not? Yes or no? The name error, how many members are there? You can call it. Up to here, okay? Got my point? Come on. In the name error, how many members are there? You can call it. So for good. Come on, any questions? Internally, what happened? Okay, three things you have to remember. First, exception raised. Python people find what kind of exception and what kind of exception class. Okay, that means what kind of exception means, okay, the exception class, they find it. Once they find the exception class, they created an object. Okay, that object with them only. If they find expect block, okay, as a default, then that time they're not assigned that object. Why? Because that is the default. Okay, if it is like a default like this, they're not assigned that. They're not assigned that object. That object is with them only. If they find, okay, the specific exception class like this, okay, they executed the block if they raised the name error, but that object is keep with them only. Whenever they find like this, whenever they find like this, okay, whenever they find like this, that time, okay, that time, what happened? Come on, whenever they find something like this, that time what happened?
Creating a class of name error.
That time they already create an object, right? That object is assigned to this particular reference or not? They already created an object. That object is assigned to whom?
Yeah,
That object is assigned to this A or not. So A is an object of which class? Name
name class.
class. Whenever the name error class object is with you, name error class members you can call it or not. So you can call name error class, how many members are there? Add note is there, orgs are there, name is there, with track trace, with trace back is there, all these members are there or not. So you can call it, yes or no. Okay, so if the exception raised by whom? Python people, they find the exception class, they created an object for that particular exception class, and they assign that object to you. Okay, if you write, if you follow this syntax, yes or no? These things handled by whom? Python people or not? Yes or no? Who raised that exception as you said? Who raised this exception as you said? Come on.
Python.
This exception, Python people only or not? Yes or no? Python people only raised. For example, think some of the exceptions Python people not raised. What kind of exceptions, you know? Okay, for example, those are like business specific guidelines. For example, if I write, okay, my salary equals to 1,000. Okay, so that print, okay, my salary is, okay, so, okay, now can I run this one? Can I run this one? Py 21.py. Now my salary is like 1,000. It's valid or invalid statement? It's valid or invalid statement? It
And
100% valid. Whenever I return, okay, like this, whenever I return like this, okay, did you find anywhere the salary is in the negative? My salary may be zero, but my salary is like 10,000 minus. Is it like valid statement or invalid statement? It is like
valid.
invalid statement, right? But my Python don't know. My Python always looking for what? Sal, some value there or not there. That is negative or positive or my Python don't know. My Python treated this one like one variable with some value. That's it. What is my variable? Sal is my variable. What is the value? Minus 10,000. It's treated like one variable. That's it. Whenever if it is like minus 10,000, my Python, okay, treated like has the value. But as per your business requirement, my sal variable is represents one employee salary, that should not be negative or not. Whenever this is like negative, okay, is my Python people raises an exception? See, is my Python people throw an exception? Did you find, did they throw any exception? See, okay, hey, salary is like negative, this is okay, not a valid one, like this is my Python people throw an exception, any exception they throw? No, right, no, right. Okay, as per Python people, this is like one variable with some value, that's it. But as per your business requirement, this variable is like a salary, it should not be mine, okay, negative. So that whenever it is like a negative, okay, my Python people anyway, they not raise an exception. Can you do one thing? Can you raise your own exception from your end? Is nothing but what? Now this is the time for what? Previous my Python people created find the exception class, created an object and throw an exception or not? Yes or no? In this one, okay, what my Python people did it, they find the exception, okay, they create an object and throw an exception or not. Whenever throw an exception, then what happened? It is looking for which block? Expect block. Expect block. If the expect block is not there, the exception thrown but not handled, that the reason what happened. The exception thrown but not handled, that the reason what happened. Come on, that's the reason what happened. Come on, exception thrown but not handled, that the reason what happened. Exception thrown but not handled. Okay, so my program terminated like what? Abnormal or not? My program terminated like abnormal or not? Agreed? My program terminated like abnormal. Yes or no? Whenever my Python people find the exception class, created an object and throw that particular exception, throw that particular exception. Whenever the expect block is there, that exception is like handled, that the exception object is there now, that exception object is assigned to my variable or not. But here the exception itself not raised by the Python. So who raised that exception? Who has to raise that exception? Come on. Who has to raise that exception? Okay, Python people not raise it means, so who has to raise? The second option is what? Who has to raise an exception? You have to
developer.
raise it or not, developer or not. That means, okay, my name error is like a predefined, right? Name error is like a predefined. Python people created an object and raise an exception. If your own exception, if you want, can I write one more, one exception class can I define like sal error is my own exception, like name error. Can you create an object? Can you throw that exception? Can you throw the exception? What Python people did it in the past, same like this, can you throw? Whenever you throw that exception, okay, exception Python people throw na, you throw na, okay, who is, how we can handle that exception using which block? Expect block we can handle or not. So my question is like name error, I want to create my own exception class like sal error. Whenever my salary is like negative, then that time can you create an object for this particular sal error? Can you throw an exception? How we can throw an exception manually? By using one of the statement called as a raise. Okay, by using one keyword is there, by using raise. Okay, by using raise we can throw an exception. Understood? Got my point? Okay. Okay, how we can create, we'll see in the next session. Can you do one thing? Okay, if you're interested, uh, go to the school. Okay, can you join the Python sessions in the evening 9 p.m. also? Okay, that is like new batch started. Can you join to brush up your knowledge topics? 9 p.m.
Sure, sir.
Okay, you can join in the WhatsApp group so that you can get the updates and everything. Okay, at the same time, okay, if you're interested, you can join the UI also. There is no need to pay the fee. Okay, this is like weekend batch. Okay, you can join in this WhatsApp group also. Okay, okay. So join 9 p.m. Python and weekend Saturday and Sunday. If you want to join, you can join this one also. Okay, UI. Well, because the UI is required for Python. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then we'll continue on things in the next session. Join 9 p.m. Don't forget. Okay, just brush up your knowledge again. Okay, all the topics. Okay, just we completed like 10 sessions. That is like basics only. Okay, now you can join 9 p.m. Okay, weekdays, Monday to Friday.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you guys. Thanks for joining. Bye.